are you here today?
To stand with all these Armenians and say that Turkey committed the genocide.
Will you continue doing this
Yes.
when you grow up?
Yes, throughout all of the years of my life.
Did you have any of your family, your grandparents or anything in genocide, you know?
My great grandmother, she was with her and her sister, and they were in the desert, and she had a baby, and the baby ended up dying, and so my great grandmother and my great auntie.
What is your name?
Vanda.
Vanda?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tell us who you are.
Hi, we're Jack Iragopian from the Armenian National Committee of Canada, Western Region. Today is April 24th, the 102nd commemoration of the Armenian Genocide. So we're here in Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, with the commemoration with our youth from AYF and other members of the Armenian community. And we're just showing that the Armenians are here. We survive, we thrive, and we demand recognition of the genocide from the Turkish government. At the same time, we are thankful to the Canadian government, the government of British Columbia, and the city of Vancouver for their recognition of the Armenian genocide over the years.
I mean, there's not a good friendship.
The government of Canada for recognizing the Armenian genocide.
Who are you?
Turkish Kenyan.
And so who is the organizer of this whole thing?
AYF, Armenian Youth Federation, Arshavi Shirayan chapter, Vancouver chapter.
Do you have anything else to say?
So we are in the West, so we're with the long line of commemorations that have happened throughout the world today, starting in the homeland in Armenia and Yerevan, and all through the countries where Armenians have spread in the diaspora because of the genocide. And we are proud Canadians, proud Armenians. We cherish our heritage, and we look forward to a day when genocide is fully acknowledged and recognized by Turkey, the perpetrator, so that we can live together in peace.
What is your reaction today? Trump just followed other president. He didn't recognize Armenian genocide.
Just the continuing disappointment that a major country does not understand that this would not have any effect on its relations with Turkey. Countries like France have had the courage to fully recognize the Armenian genocide. They do thriving business with Turkey. So the geopolitical aspect is also not relevant. It's just a silly game that they play, and it's detrimental to the going forward.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
In 2015, the world commemorated the 100th anniversary of the Armenian Genocide, the first Holocaust of the 20th century. Reiterate our commitment to the rights and dignity of our people in the face of powerful denialist machine that is the Turkish government. The most momentous achievement of the centennial was our ability to prove to the international community that despite the passage of a century, our struggle will never be forgotten. We were able to deepen our hope and courage, not the other way around. We were able to conciliate our values while others shamefully stood ignorant. We were able to deepen our outreach to civil society, not contain. These are simply a few examples proving that discussions about the Armenian genocide went much beyond self-commemoration among Armenians. The day of the genocide commencement, with a clear voice from global civil society, current authoritarian regime in Turkey will be pressured even more stronger than.
Canadians stand united for human rights!
Canadians stand united for human rights!
Canadians stand united!
Recognize the Armenian genocide!
Recognize the Armenian genocide!
Canadians stand united for the Armenian genocide!
Canadians stand united for the Armenian genocide!
Canadians stand united for human rights!
Canadians stand united! We want justice! We want justice!
to deepen our outreach to civil society, not contain. These are simply a few examples providing the discussions about the Armenian genocide went much beyond self-commemorations among Armenians, their sympathizers, and other groups such as Pontus Greeks and Assyrians, who were also severely subjected to genocide at that time. The production of knowledge and books related to the Armenian genocide has grown exponentially and globally. Most notably, the global centennial commemorations vested much power into the intellectuals and civic community in Turkey, who publicly commemorated on the day of the genocide commencement. With a clear voice from global civil society, current authoritarian regime in Turkey will be pressured even more stronger than ever to face their country's history and to rid history from the political expendices of our time. However, after the centennial, the question that remains is that we are ready to do next. What is our generation going to do? We will certainly remain ever resolute in our collective struggle against injustice. We will continue to and spend our best resources to carry on the education process in order to ensure that the upcoming generations demand with a stronger voice and attain our rights more honorably. We have come a long way, and there is no way we are backtracking. We will not rest nor give up until Mush, Sasun, Ardahan, Gars, and Ararat are ours again. They will be ours again because you and I have committed to continue in the footsteps of our forefathers. They will be ours again because you and I have committed that what we've learned will be passed down the generations, and they will be ours again because after 102 years we stand strong as ever and we say never again. During the centennial, Pope Francis called the massacre of our people by the Ottoman Turks the first genocide of the 20th century. In turn, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan was quick in condemning and warning the Pope not to make such a mistake again. Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoglu accused Francis of blackmail, saying that the pontiff had joined an evil front. Unfortunately, this is the level of low that after 102 years of struggle, the Armenian nation continues to face. Only recently, we have all seen how Turkish trolls worldwide are trying to discredit the new Armenian genocide era Hollywood epic, The Promised. There have been reports from all over North America of how Turkish trolls are tirelessly working to make sure this movie does not reach its desired goal. Our issue has never been with the Turkish people, rather the Turkish government, who for over a century now continues to categorically deny the Armenian genocide. Unfortunately, the people that are writing the bad reviews are a byproduct of the same government state-sponsored educational system that shamelessly continues to misinform and to misconstrue the undeniable facts of the Armenian genocide. The Promise is the first big-budget film that, through the telling of a love story, depicts the horrors of the Armenian genocide. The simple fact that thousands of people have written such reviews before even viewing the movie is a clear indication that this is a part of a politically motivated campaign to make sure the wider public stays uninformed about the events of 1915. This campaign is not only disrespectful to the descendants of the Armenian genocide, but also highly unreflective of our shared values of respect, tolerance, and regard to human rights. We will challenge this campaign with our courage and determination, just like we challenged many campaigns before this that have aimed at denying the Armenian genocide. The fact that despite all these reviews, The Promise is hitting thousands of theaters worldwide is indicative of this campaign's failure. The Armenian community and the wider public are mobilized today, and thousands are expected to flood the theaters this week to view the film and raise awareness about this very important cause. It is only through our concerted efforts of education and advocacy that truth and justice will prevail. We've repeatedly clarified that our fight targets precisely this tyrannical bureaucracy that is responsible for the culture of impunity that carries on in Turkey today. A few years ago, at an Armenian genocide commemoration in Times Square, well-known Turkish scholar and activist Taner Akçam noted with consolation that the nation of Turkey consists of more than simply the denialist regime. There is another Turkey, and the citizens of that Turkey are ready to face their history. Progress has certainly been made over the course of the last century. We have succeeded in making the issue of recognition a top priority in various countries across the globe, and during the centennial, through our collective efforts, we achieved successful milestones. Pope Francis's declaration on April 12, 2015 marked the beginning of a hellish few weeks for the Turkish government. In a rapid fire of events, the European Parliament, Germany, Belgium, Serbia, Austria, Brazil, all recognized and condemned the Armenian genocide, among many other nations. Turkey's denialist stance has actually left them incapable of achieving lasting peace and security even within their own borders. President Erdogan's infamous regime not only shamelessly continues to deny the Armenian genocide, but actively suppresses freedom of speech and continues its notorious mistreatment and marginalization of minorities in Turkey with minimal regard to human rights and democracy. Therefore, our struggle will not be determined by a few milestones, but by our consistency. That is why the 102nd anniversary and all successive anniversaries are very crucial. Just as we do it every single year, this time around we need to pursue the struggle with the same fervor and enthusiasm we had during the centennial. We need to strongly pressure all governments not only to recognize the genocide, but also to demand justice for this crime. Thank you.
Canadians stand united for human rights.
Canadians stand united for human rights.
Turkey, accept your past.
Turkey, accept your past.
Genocide denied is genocide repeated.
Genocide denied is genocide repeated.
Turkey is guilty of genocide.
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 Recognize your history, don't revise it.
Recognize your history, don't revise it.
Eastern Turkey is Western Armenia. Eastern Turkey is Western Armenia.
Eastern Turkey is Western Armenia.
Turkey tramples on human rights.
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 Turkey targets its minorities.
Turkey targets its minorities.
Turkey, accept your past.
Turkey, accept your past.
Turkey is guilty of genocide.
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 Recognize your history.
Recognize your history.
Recognize your history.
Recognize your history.
Eastern Turkey is Western Armenia.
Eastern Turkey is Western Armenia.
Turkey targets its minorities.
Turkey targets its minorities.
Thank you, Canada, for recognizing the Armenian genocide.
Thank you, Canada, for recognizing the Armenian genocide.
Thank you, Canada.
Thank you, Canada.
Turkey, acknowledge your history.
Turkey, acknowledge your history.
Turkey, acknowledge your history.
Turkey, acknowledge your history.
Recognize your history.
Recognize your history.
Turkey tramples on human rights.
Turkey tramples on human rights.
Turkey, accept your past.